RK is a student I did a mock session with on my YouTube channel. Her visa interview lasted just a minute. In this video, I will explain why her visa interview was very short. She was interviewed by a young white man. So the visa officer requested for her I-20 and passport. So the visa officer asked, "What are you going to do at Ball State University?" RK replied, "I am going to pursue my master's degree in school counseling, and school counseling is a branch in educational psychology that seeks to provide academic support to students and also cater for psychosocial and emotional needs through counseling and therapy." So the visa officer nods and said, "Okay." Here, RK clearly articulated why she wanted to pursue a master's degree in school counseling, explaining that it's a branch in educational psychology. This shows a genuine academic goal, which is essential for a student visa application. So the visa officer asked, "What gave you the passion to pursue this course?" RK replied, "I currently work as an administrator, and from my prior knowledge of psychology, I double as a guidance coach at our home international school, and I get opportunity to listen to students' problems and challenges. And sometimes they present to me difficult situations that I lack the skills to provide them with the right support." Here, the visa officer cut in. Now you can see that she tied her choice of program to her current work experience, explaining that she already serves as a guidance coach and encounters challenges in providing adequate support to students. This background underscores her need for specialized training, which adds credibility to her intent to study in the US. The fact that her family owns a school where she currently works might have indicated to the visa officer that RK has strong ties to her home country, making it more likely that she will return after her studies in the US. So the visa officer asks again, "I can see you have a deficit. Who will take care of that?" RK replied, "My dad." So the visa officer asked, "What does he do?" RK replied, "He's a businessman into the distribution of Nestle products across three northern regions." When you are offered admission and or scholarship by a school, you will receive an email with details about the offer. You may need to formally accept it. If you are offered full funding or a full scholarship that covers all your cost of attendance, the school will issue you with an I-20, which is a document required for processing F-1 student visas. If your funding is insufficient, that is, the school did not give you full funding, you must submit financial documents covering at least the deficit before the I-20 document can be issued. The school will let you know what your deficit is. It is important to note that a full tuition scholarship does not equate a full scholarship. With a full tuition scholarship, you will need to provide proof of funds for your living expenses and health insurance. In some instances, you will need to pay an enrollment deposit as well. The enrollment deposit is your commitment to attend the school. Some schools will refund the enrollment deposit if your visa is denied. Now, once you have received your I-20, it is time to process your visa. While I was recording this, a student asked whether they need to sign the I-20 document and send it back to the school. No, you just have to sign it and then use it to process your visa. Now, once you receive your I-20, you can begin processing your visa. Here are the steps to complete before your visa interview. Step 1, you have to complete the DX1C form, which is the visa application form. Step 2, you have to pay the visa fee. This fee is also called the MRV fee. You must pay it before scheduling a visa interview appointment. Step 3, you have to book a visa interview appointment. Step 4, you have to pay the service fee. This fee must be paid before your visa interview appointment. If you don't pay it before your visa interview, your visa will be denied. Hi guys, welcome to today's live session. I'm very excited you're here. Please let me know where you're watching this from. If you have any question, please leave it in the chat and I'll do my best to respond to this. So I am also streaming on TikTok. If you're on TikTok, please, you can also leave your questions in the chat and I'll do my best to respond to that. So as usual, if you want to join the live session, it is very simple. All you have to do is make sure you're in the Telegram group. And when we request for the details, you just have to send the details to us. And then, if you are lucky, you may be selected. We tend to select about like between 3 to 5 students from about 15 students. So yeah, it's not automatic, but there is a good chance, you could be selected. If you're not selected, you can try again. Okay. Yeah. So today I am supposed to have 5 students that I'm supposed to interview, but it looks like I have 2 of them right now. The rest may join later. If they try to join, I'm going to add them because maybe they tried before, and because of the delay, I'm responsible for the delay because I was doing something else and all of that. So yeah, if they try to join, okay, one person is joining. Okay, so we have three people here. Hopefully the other two students are able to join as well. So yeah, I'm very excited to be doing the mock interview. If you have any question, please leave it in the chat. All right. I'm going to start with Nkiru. I think Nkiru was here first, so I'm going to start with Nkiru. Nkiru, can you hear me? Hello, Nkiru. Are you there?
Yes, yes, I
Okay, cool.
am. I can hear you.
Okay. Okay, cool. Those of you watching, if something is not clear, if you cannot hear anybody's sound or something, let me know. Okay, and I will also appreciate it if you share it, if you like it, and if you are new here, consider subscribing to the channel as well. All right. So, Nkiru, what are you going to study?
I'm going to study masters in social work at Baylor University that has over 60 credits hours and concentration on two areas, the clinical aspect of it and then the community practice aspect of it.
Why
So
do you
I'll
need
be
this program?
focusing.
Why do you need this program?
I need this program because I have over a decade
Um.
years of
Okay.
experience in the
Actually,
nonprofit.
Nkiru, hold on. I just realized that I am using the headphone, so those on TikTok they will not be able to hear you. So let me just take it out. Actually, I don't need this, so I actually forgot that. Okay. Can you say hello?
Hello.
Okay, cool. Yeah, I just wanted to make sure they can hear you. Okay, cool. All right. So I just realized I didn't need it. Okay, so let me ask again. Okay, let's start all over again. What are you going to study?
I'm going to study a master's in social work at Baylor University with over 60 credits hours. And it has two special areas of specialization, the clinical area of social work and then
Why
the
do you need this
community practice.
program?
I need this program as someone who has over a decade years of experience in the nonprofit sector and a bachelor's in mass communication. So I need this program in order to be able to give me the opportunities to really dive into the nonprofit sector as a professional. And then it will also help me to better have the voice, to advocate for the vulnerable people, most especially the survivors of rape and sexual abuse, which has been the sector I've worked for over a decade.
Okay. What exactly are you going to learn from the program?
Thank you for that question. I'll be learning a lot that has to do with community practice, which is community-based intervention for persons in the community. And it has the areas of leadership and management. And I don't know if I'm permitted to say that the nonprofit sector in Nigeria, they're not really looking at into the leadership management of the nonprofit sector, especially in the HR that helps their staff to better work effectively. So this I'll be learning those skills in terms of the leadership and management in the nonprofit sector, and then with other opportunities or skills like advocacy to be an expert in that field, which
Okay.
I've been doing a little bit of that.
Okay. So the thing is that when I asked you what you are going to study, you said what you are going to study. You mentioned 60 credit hours. Instead of telling me 60 credit hours and all those things, just tell me why you need a program. And I asked you that. You said you have a decade experience in the non-profit, yet your reason for wanting to pursue this program is for you to um be able to return to Nigeria and work in the non-profit sector as a professional. So are you saying the 10 years that you've worked in the non-profit sector, you've not worked as a professional? Is that your reason? And then
Um,
I had to ask you, what are you exactly going to learn from the program? Before you mentioned you are going to gain skills in community engagement, you are going to gain skills in leadership and all of that. So if I ask you why do you want to pursue the program, I would prefer, yeah, you can say you've worked in the non-profit sector for a decade and you want to, gain advanced skills or gain advanced knowledge or something in community engagement, and that so that it is kind of clear enough exactly what you are going to learn from the program and how that is going to help your job as a community engagement officer or social worker or something when you return to Nigeria. This thing that you are saying, Nigerian non-profits, they don't, you said something, I don't really remember, but your reason, your why should be very clear enough. Why exactly do you need this degree? If you say you want to, you return as a professional worker in the non-profit sector, that is what you've been doing for 10 years. So what is the new thing that the degree is going to do for you? You have to be very clear about that. Okay. All right. Who is sponsoring your studies?
My half sister will be sponsoring my studies in the US, and she owned a business or a gas station depot called All Care. I don't know if I'm to mention the
Please don't
name.
mention the exact name. You can just use ABC as a proxy for the name of the company. Okay.
Okay, thank you. My half sister, who own a gas depot station here in Lagos, Nigeria, and then is currently establishing one in the east. That's in my hometown, and the name of the business is AAA whatever. And she makes over. I mean, she has an annual income of over 180 million naira, and which is solely as a salary to herself, aside the income that comes for the revenue of the business. And she has always been there for me throughout my studies and has always supported me throughout my
Do you
secondary
care? Do you
university.
care to tell me how old you are? Are you over 30 years?
Yes, I am.
So you're over 30 years, and your sister is sponsoring you. Is she married?
Yes, she's married. She's older. She's close to
What
50.
about you? Are
Like
you
late.
married?
I'm not.
Okay. Okay.
Okay,
So
so
what is your, okay, go on. Yeah, you want to say something?
yes, so she'll be sponsoring my studies, and then I was opportune to receive 25% scholarship from the Department of Social Work at Baylor University, and I currently had an interview for my GA some days ago, and I was told I'll be receiving. I don't know if I'm to mention the amount of the stipend. Should I mention it?
Yeah, nobody, yeah, you can mention the amount. I have
Okay,
my reasons. Yeah.
okay. Okay, so I had the interview and was told I'll be receiving $15 per hour for the during the GA, and I'm yet to receive the letter to confirm that, but I've actually done my interview with them, and wait I'll wait the letter.
Will the letter be ready before your interview?
Unfortunately, I don't think so because my interview is tomorrow.
The visa interview doesn't work like that. If you don't have something,
Yeah.
you cannot say you have it.
Okay.
That's the thing. If you don't have any evidence that shows that you have a GA, then why even talk about it? If you talk about it, it means that your sponsor is not credible. You don't have a sponsor. You are trying to get a GA to support yourself, and that will lead to a denial, in my opinion. The other thing is that $15 per hour is nothing when it comes to managing when it comes to your finances in the US. $15 cannot do anything for you. A GA that pays you $15 cannot take care of your tuition. So I don't know why you even wanna hold on to that. I'm not too sure what that is. In your case, you have to stick to who is sponsoring you. Because $15, yeah, that's not anything. Because if you think about it, you're only supposed to work 20 hours a week. 20 hours a week, they pay you $15. They're going to take taxes. So at the end of the day, you end up with, let's say, maybe $12 an hour. $12 an hour, yeah, you multiply that by 20. That's like $240. $240, that's not going to do much for you. Now you cannot pay your tuition from that. So that's not a good GA. A good GA should give you at least a full tuition waiver. That's a good GA. So you cannot talk about this GA. It's not good to me. Okay.
All right.
And when you answer questions about your finances, you it's better for you to be out, kind of know how much your cost of attendance is, how much the scholarship is. So yeah, you can, if you want, you can say you have a scholarship, ABC scholarship that covers 25% of your cost of attendance, leaving you with a deficit of, you have to mention the amount, maybe $20,000 or $50,000. Mention it so that the visa also knows, okay, you are aware of how much your deficit is, and then you can talk about how you intend to sponsor yourself. I am not too sure about your sister. I feel like you, if you are 30 years old, do you have personal savings or something, as at least to show that, okay, you've also been saving towards your education in the US? Do you have anything like that?
I actually have, but because my sister will be sponsoring me, I decided to divert it to the current. Currently have building. What do I explain now? An establishment here in Nigeria where I'll be opening my own organization when I return. So that money, my savings have been diverted to that because my sister will be sponsoring my studies. So I don't know.
I don't know how that sounds too, but I'm not too sure if that is, I don't know, because you want to get a degree and come back, and then you are putting up a structure. So how do you, have you registered it or something? Whatever you want to do, have you registered it? Is there an evidence that shows that you're actually doing that? The thing is, if you don't have
No,
something, if you don't have the evidence, and you want to talk about something, there are certain things you can talk about without the evidence. But for example, if I'm going for the interview, and then let's say I have a deficit of 15,000, and then I say I have personal savings of 15,000 to take care of my deficit, I can add that my uncle will take care of anything else that comes up. I don't have to go with my uncle's bank statement, but I have to go with my own bank statement because that is what is covering the deficit. So in that case, you can mention a sponsor without the evidence. But the claims you are making right now, I'm not too sure, like, if they help with your finances. What is your deficit?
my deficit is 46,000
That's a lot of money
plus.
for a
Yes.
sister, and you didn't even say it's not your. Okay, so the sister, who, like, how is she related to you? Is it
Okay,
like cousin?
she's no, no, not cousin. My mom's first child before my mom got married to my dad.
I see. So you guys share the same surname, because I can.
No, no, no.
Yeah.
She's married. No,
Okay, she's married, so yeah, in a way, yeah. Well, so yeah, when it comes to some of these things, if your finances are not clear enough, it's very difficult, especially when you have a deficit of $47,000. The visa officer is thinking, 47,000, a sister sponsoring you for $46,000. That's so much money. That's so much money, and she has only one gas station, and she's now trying to put up another one elsewhere, right? That's what you say. One gas station for her to take out 46. I mean, I'm not too sure your finances. They sound good to me. I'm not too sure. Okay, so but why do you want to pursue this program in the US?
okay, so US is a country where it is globally it has high quality of education, and it brings in diverse people with different perspective in terms of social issues. So that will come together in the classroom to deliberate or share their experiences, and it's an opportunity for me to learn from their experience and then be able to bring it home to implement the ones that could apply to my home country here in Nigeria.
So you want to learn from people who are going to be in your classroom, and then use whatever you're going to learn from them when you return to your home country to implement those things that they are going to tell you. Is that why you're going to school?
No,
Are you
you,
going to the school because of the students, your colleagues, or because of the curriculum, the courses, and those things? Is that all? Because I'm not too sure what you're trying to say.
no, no, your question was
Why the
why the
US?
US?
Yes.
Yes. So that was the a response I thought I could respond for why the US. But
Why the
if it's for
US?
why, okay,
Hmm. Why the
should I go
US?
on?
Why the US is, think about why the US has. Why is the US the best place for me to study social work? That's how you should think about the answer. It's not just why the US, just like that. No, why is social work better to be studied in the US than anywhere else? Maybe diversity and stuff like that. You can find a way to talk about these things very well. But why the US for your program? So what is it about the program? Why is it that studying in the US, studying social work in the US will make you, will give you better skills, will make you a better person when you come, give you better skills when you come, be able to implement certain things which are not currently done in your country, Nigeria. Right. So you have to be very clear about these things. Some of your answers, some resources, they will say, okay, it's good enough in a way, but sometimes good enough is might not be good enough. You just have to, have answers which are solid. But so far, my main concern is your finances. Who is sponsoring you? I just feel like that is really, what do you do in your current job?
Okay, I'm the program associate of
Mm,
the organization where we implement programs that has to do with sensitizations, capacity buildings, and creating awareness on issues that relates to sexual and gender-based violence.
I see. You can even say in your work as a social worker, in one of your social engagements, you found I mean, you still feel that you know your field better than me, so you can, think about something better to say about that. Okay. Um, yeah. How do you hear about the school?
Okay, so I joined a YouTube section from, I don't know if I should mention the person's name. Is that fine?
So when you go for the interview, are you going to mention the person's name to the visa officer?
I will, but to you, I don't know if that's fine by you. That's what I'm asking.
Well, I mean that I don't know if that helps you or not. Um,
Okay.
I mean it's up to you. You decide what you want to do. I don't have a problem with anybody. So whatever you want to say. I mean, if
Okay.
yeah.
Okay, then I
Mm.
think I should just take it out. So, I heard about Baylor from a student, a PhD student, on Twitter, where he spoke about Baylor as a good school, most especially for someone who wants to integrate faith and the practice or the course they want to do. So it led me to making research on Baylor, and I was opportunity to speak with the program officer of social work, and then she was able to tell me more about the school, and that leads to my decision of sticking to Baylor. And because it helps me to integrate my faith and practice, and not just that, help me to bring my total self into this field as someone who has done a lot of community activities in the church and in the society.
Okay, so think about why you want to leave Nigeria and go to the US to study, and then think about your reason how you heard about the school. Is that enough to make you wanna sit down and apply to a school and all of that? You talked about talking with somebody in the school. Did you actually check the websites and see what they have and all of that? We don't just talk
Yeah.
to people like that easily like that. It doesn't it's not so easy to just want to talk to your coordinator. It starts from somewhere, for you to actually get there. How you heard about the school is very easy. So many, maybe a friend recommended it to you. You did your research on the school. You discovered that the program's curriculum is ABC, and this aligns with your interest, your career interests, or your research interests, to you to do ABC in ABC. That is more convincing. So, okay, this person is actually very clear about why she actually decided to apply to the school. That is more convincing. But yeah, if you yeah, it's just not. But I mean, it can still be good enough. But yeah, especially if you don't have funding, your answers have to be more solid. So, what are your plans after your studies in the US?
My plan is to return back to Nigeria to establish my own non-profit, I've already started putting the structures together in terms of the building, and it's go back to Nigeria to be able to register the organization and then open it up for survivors of domestic violence to have skills acquisition, because in my workplace, statistics shows that vulnerable people who are vulnerable to these issues of sexual and gender-based
Okay,
violence are from local.
you already told me you don't have document to show that you are putting up any structure. You don't have anything that shows that you are registering you've registered your business and all of that.
Mm-mm.
So
The
if you have
building is
money,
still ongoing.
to put up a building, why don't you have money to sponsor yourself? Like I'm just thinking like all these things. I'm not too sure, but
Mm.
I'm not saying what I'm saying is perfect or final. But I'm just it doesn't really sound too good to me. But okay, so do you have any question? I think I want to move on to the next person. Do you have any question? I've given you a general idea about what I think, right? So, what do you have any question?
Yes, I
Mm.
actually do have a question.
Okay.
You know, this issue of finance has really been giving me headache actually,
Mm.
and it wasn't a surprise when you said it wasn't really convincing enough. So I've really been thinking about it. So, the question I want to ask is regarding what's this thing? Oh God help me, I've forgotten. So regarding where the funding,
Yeah.
So what if a question that has to do with, okay, so what if your sister is no longer funding you? How do you cover that? How will you be able to cover that funding?
What if your
So
sister is no longer sponsoring you?
yes, like
That's not.
there's a way you say, there's a way somebody is funding you, and while you're there, maybe something happened.
That is
It's a two-year
why
program.
that is why the credibility of the sponsor is important. If you can establish that the person makes a lot in a way, the person has a company and things like that, then that we can actually project into the future that, oh, the person is capable of sponsoring you. There wouldn't be the credibility once the visa also establishes that this person is credible. That's enough. We don't have to worry about whether the person's job, collapses or something. No, once we establish that the business is big enough to be able to sponsor you, then that's fine. In your case, one gas station, and then the person being your sister being able to spend $46,000, that's too much money. I'm not too sure, like, any sister in your home country will be in a position to spend that much on you. It's very difficult. So that's what I can tell you. Okay, so good luck to you.
Thank you so much for your
Yeah,
time.
yeah, no problem. All right, Nana Kwame, are you there?
Yes, I'm here.
Okay, Nana Kwame, who is sponsoring your studies?
I have been awarded a competitive graduate teaching assistantship, which covers my entire course of attendance, which is about $51,439.
How
And
did
for
you get the
that,
funding? How did you get the funding?
so I submitted a competitive application package, which consists of my good academic record for my Doctor of Pharmacy degree, which had a 3.7 out of 4, and my Masters of Public Health degree. I also have 5 research experiences, of which 2 of them have been submitted to top peer reviewed journals. And I also have leadership experience. I was the class president for my FAMD cohort. I was
Did you have
interviewed
an
by
interview? Okay, go on.
Yes, I was interviewed by 2 admission committee members, and I excelled within this interview. I was chosen as one of the 3 members of the cohorts for this year, the fall 2025 academic year.
Why did you apply to the school?
I applied to Purdue because for sorry, can I run it again? Sorry.
Yeah, just
Yeah,
when I ask you a question, it's not like as soon as I ask you, you have to answer. You can just take like 2 seconds. So where are you going? I am going to. Then so then don't rush it and then end up trying to or wanting to take it back again and all of that. Just take your time. You can pause a little bit and so yeah. I'm actually not going to ask you that question. I'm going to ask you something else. Why do you need this degree?
I need this degree because currently I work as a research assistant with the University of Ghana. And I noticed that Ghana has limited expertise in pharmacoeconomics. And this PhD program when I'm done with the PhD program, I'll return to Ghana as a lecturer. And in order to be a lecturer, the minimum qualification is a PhD degree in pharmacoeconomics. So this PhD degree would
What
provide
is
me with
what is pharmacoeconomics about?
So it's a branch of health economics that basically focus on identifying, measuring, and comparing the cost and the outcomes of health interventions. Looking when we are looking for the value of these cost interventions within pharmaceutical services and products, and how that impacts our health system. So we are looking at value, what services within the community pharmacy or within the healthcare system will give us value for money, will offer us the best value for money.
What are you going to study?
I'm going to study a fully funded 5-year PhD program in pharmacoeconomics at
Okay.
ABC University. My research interest focuses on developing the economic models such as cost utility analysis, which we use to evaluate the cost effectiveness of healthcare interventions within the community pharmacy. I'll be working with Professor ABC within the
How
Health
many
Equity
schools did
Research
you
Lab.
apply to? How many schools did you apply to?
I applied to 5 universities. I got 3 interview offers, and I chose Purdue because Purdue is a global leader in the area of macroeconomics and outcomes research. My research interests aligns with the work that's currently happening at the Health Equity Research Lab, which is led by Professor ABC. She's developing cost-effective models, which we can use to evaluate and be able to tell the value for money of healthcare interventions and services that are provided within the community pharmacy.
Do you have any relative in the US?
No, I do not have any relative in the US.
Yeah, I think you'll be approved. Do you have any question?
Yes, I have one question.
Hmm.
So it's about the when you get there. Do you stand still with your hands behind your back, or you can make gestures? Because currently here I'm making gestures. That makes me comfortable because I like to talk and teach with my hands. So I don't know whether that's okay or I need to stand still and then talk.
Yeah. Yeah, the thing is that we always have to, visa officers, they are trained to understand that human beings are different. If let's say you go and then you stammer, that doesn't mean your visa will be denied. They will give you they will allow you to be yourself. So the same way, if you talk, the thing is that try to control it a little bit. Don't raise it too high. Try to, yeah, do it in a respectful manner, right? Don't make it look like, don't raise it like, like this. No, but you can try to, that can even make you look like, oh, this guy, he wants to be a professor. So yeah, professors, they like to use their hands a lot. When I'm presenting, I actually like to use my hands a lot. So that doesn't mean that should go against you. Just that don't raise it like this. If you that this is inappropriate. But yeah, if you can, do this, I think that is fine. I don't see any issue with that, right? Something like this. I'm moving my hands. I know you cannot see, but just but not like this. This is not cool. But you can do it like this. I want to study this program because this, like how you make the hand gestures can even show that, yeah, this guy wants to be a professor. So yeah, it's fine. I think you should be fine. Okay, good luck to you.
Thank you very much. I'm grateful.
Yeah. All right. Um, Chris, Chris Kanu Wanko. Is it Wanko? I don't know. I think Chris, your audio. There's a problem with your audio. Chris, can you hear me? Your audio. You probably want to leave and try to join again because your audio. I'm struggling to hear you.
Can you hear me? Can you hear me?
Yeah, I think it's okay. Yeah.
Can you
Uh,
hear me now?
yeah, I think this is okay. Yeah. What are your plans after your studies?
So, can you come again, please?
Can I come again?
I can't hear you.
I said, what are your plans after your studies in the US? Chris, leave and try to join. Okay, rejoin. Okay, because we can't keep going like that. Okay, so try and then rejoin. Let me go into the chat and then see what is in the chat. What the is that? So Tete, Tete is live. I'm laughing because Tete, please do something. Oh, please, Tete, please do something. I dey beg you. Ryan says, are the student visas still suspended? So the thing is that you cannot, I will not be able to tell. All you have as a student, you don't even have to be concerned about whether it has been lifted or not. Always, every morning, like 3 times a day, go to the page, the appointment page, and keep checking morning, afternoon, evening. You are going to, as soon as they release the date, you know. If you are waiting for somebody to confirm to you that they've lifted it, then by the time you go and check, people have already booked. So don't even think about whether they've lifted it or not. Just be like a fool in life. Sometimes you have to be like a fool to get what you want. So every day, go and check 3 times a day. Eventually, you are going to get a date. As soon as they release it, you are going to get a date. So that's my advice to you. Okay. All right. Tete says, please, we can't see you clearly. Oh, I'm sure you can see me now, right? Hi, Isaac. What's up? MJC, big up, big up. Cry Joseph from Ghana. Okay. Okay, Tete says the sound is good. Okay, Daniel says your sound, please. Okay, I think the sound was low, but I think it's okay now. That's good. Mail. Okay, okay, that's good. Uh, I'm Rabia too from Ghana. Says I'm glad to be here. Okay, we are glad to have you. Isaac from Ghana. Hold on. Isaac from Ghana. Working on MBA. I see. So why am I okay? Okay, Augusta says, hi, Shai. Hello, Shai. If I start my MS, which is non-STEM, and I'm not too sure, and I'm admitted to another program after the completion of my program, do I have to apply for visa to start a new program? No. Once you are in the US, you don't need another visa. The US, all you need is a valid I-20. Okay. You only need a visa to enter a country. once you are in the country, you don't need a visa for anything else. You only need a visa if you want to enter a country. Okay. Philip says, "Hi Shai, I saw what happened on TikTok." No. So she says, Shai, please, during the interview, can you tell the visa officer that you were promised of G upon arrival? No. If you don't have any evidence to show to the visa officer that you have something, then if you try to prove your finances that, oh, I have this person sponsoring me, the visa officer is thinking you don't have anybody. You are trying to, maybe you are using a fake bank statement to come, and then when you come, you are going to now try to look for a GA. That is not a good thing. So I don't recommend that. If you don't have something in your hand, don't say you have it. Okay. Even if the I-20 doesn't reflect maybe a GA offer that you have been given, you can go with the GA offer and talk about it, because now if you are asked where is it or something, you have the evidence to show. Chris, check your audio. Okay, make sure.
Yeah. Can you hear me now?
Yeah, just mute yourself. I'll call you when I'm ready to talk to you. Okay. Mohammed says targeting for 2026, but the current immigration policy is reducing my composure. The thing about life is that if you want to delay, others are going to be ahead of you. So whatever is going on, you have to believe that everything will be fine, and then start your application, start doing the research. If you wait, some people are going to take the lead, and if they take the lead, then it will be very difficult for you to catch up, because by the time you are ready, they've probably done all the work, established the right rapport and all these things. So you wanna, yeah, believe that everything will be fine. That's the only thing. You have to believe that everything will be fine. If you don't want to believe, and then you wanna wait until there is no storm before you do something, then nah, it doesn't work like that. Whether there is storm or not, you have to sail. That's just sail through it. Chidima says, hello, is it okay to mention that my program partners with certain industries for internship? When asked about a program, why study in the US and why the program? Well, I mean, the when it comes to the ties, sometimes you want to stay away from some of these things, but some people, they say it and it works for them. So for me, my approach will be trying to stay away from internship stuff, so that I'll focus more on other advantages of the program, maybe lab opportunities, research opportunities, the practical nature of the program, and stuff like that. If internship is going to help you, fine, you can say it. I think it's not a bad thing. In the US, students like internships. The only thing is that because you are now coming, you're an international student and all of that, you don't want to suggest that you want to take advantage and work. Internship is not the kind of work that is prohibited, but sometimes you just want to play it safe when it comes to certain things, right? Because you never know who the visa officer who is interviewing you and how the person may interpret that statement about internship. But it can work for you. That one, when it comes to some of these things, there is no yes or no. Sometimes, yeah, it's nuanced, and it also depends on the personality, the visa officer. Neneka, good to see you. Emmanuel says, please talk about travel ban by Trump on Ghana. The thing is that something that has not happened. Why are you worried about it? It has not happened. So for me, I don't care. Whatever happens, you don't have to think about these things, right? If it happens, yes, life goes on. You have to pretend that nothing is going to happen and do what you have to do. If it happens, then it's life. Because yeah, you can come to the US, this fall, and then something can happen. Like the thing is, nothing is guaranteed. There is nothing like, oh, if I only go through this process, then this will be the destination. No, there is, you can do something and then expect something, but it doesn't mean what you expect will happen. So whether there is going to be travel ban on Ghana or not, that's not what you should think about. I don't when I see something like that, which is based on speculations like that, most of the time I don't want to pay attention to that, because it is, I saw something like 36 countries or something. It's not that easy. The US banning 36 countries, it's not simple like that. It is very complicated. It can actually crash the US economy in a way. The US, is more like the biggest country, the biggest economy, and all of these things. But the world is, more like there is always the need for us to interact. There is a need for us to trade and all of that, and get something from somewhere else and all of that. I was recording a video, and I was telling the students that Ghana produces cocoa, and without cocoa that is imported from Ghana and Ivory Coast and other countries, the US would not have chocolate to eat. So yeah, if you think about it, some climates are not suited to produce certain crops. And so if you say you are cutting off some of these countries, then you're not going to get these things as well. It's not simple like that. You don't make decisions. It's not all these things. They are speculations. I will pretend that it's never happening. If it happens, yes, then we have to find a way. We will deal with it. The human being is very resilient. Most of the time, you think you are weak until something happens, and then you see how resilient you can be. So don't think about it. Forget about it. Whatever happens, happens. We leave. We move on. At the end of the day, everybody will die one day. So I always say everybody will die. So if everybody will die one day, then why are you worried about these things? Okay. All right. So Queen One says, hello, what if I have a sibling in the US? How can I answer in the interview? If you follow the channel, you will not be asking these questions because I've already made a video recently, maybe 2 weeks ago, about Judith, whose visa was approved. Um she has um she has her sister in the US. There is a guy who is coming to the US to do PhD in nursing. He paid for private mock interview. I did the mock interview with him. I'm not making a video about that because he was fully funded, but he has two brothers in the US and he was approved. This is like no, when was it, like 2 weeks ago or so, so if you follow a lot of these things, you know that, having, I've said it so many times, having a relative doesn't mean your visa will be denied. No, especially if you have good funding, your visa will be approved. If you have good funding, if you don't have good funding, then the visa officer is thinking maybe your family here is going to help you engage in illegal activities and stuff like that. So if you have a family in the US and you are worried about that, it doesn't mean you have to go and lie. No, it just means that you have to get funding, get good funding, so that you don't have to worry about wherever they are. And also, ideally, try to stay away from where they are in a way. That's my best tip for you. James says, please, do you coach people with loan as a source of funding? So the thing is that, first of all, I will not recommend anybody to use loan to process their visa. I will not do that. Recently I did a poll in my channel, my WhatsApp channel, and then I said that if 2/3 of the students, at least 2/3, have to say I should do mock loan coaching and then loan mock interviews. So they voted. It was too much. I was like, okay, well, you guys have spoken. So yes, if you submit your details that you want me to do mock interviews with the mock interview with you, you are using a loan, I'll do it. If you want me to coach you using a loan, I'll do it. But I'll tell you, please, it doesn't give you a good chance. Don't use a loan. Try and get funding. Because if you are trying to use a loan, you might end up wasting your money. So I would have to tell you the truth. Okay. Eric says, if you have a sibling doing OPT and another sibling schooling, how do you go about this? It's the same thing. If you have good funding, you'll be approved. It's very simple. It's not. It shouldn't make you scared. Okay. David says, hi, Shai, happy to watch you live today. God bless you. Okay. Nice to have you here. Okay. Let's go to Chris. Okay. I'll come back to the comment section. Let's go to Chris, so that, Chris, are you there?
Yeah, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you, Chris. So let's do it. What are you going to study?
Okay. Yeah, I'm going to study a master's degree in business administration with concentration in health administration as a 2-year program.
Why do you want to study this program?
Yeah, I want to study this program as a pharmacist back in Nigeria and as a superintendent pharmacy and the chief executive officer of SS company. I've been working towards this program for a couple of years now, about 8 years. I've been working as a general pharmacy of SS Company and the chief executive director, along with my wife, who is a co-director, managing this business. So I want to understand how a business is run because the business is probably run as in a clinical aspect. So we want to understand the managerial aspect and also the finance aspect of it. And also I took interest in one of the professor in Webster University, and one of our research talks is
So,
on value
okay,
options.
let me tell you this quickly. I asked you,
Okay.
why do you need this program? You said so many things before now telling me about what you are, the skills you are going to learn and all of that. all the things you told me at the beginning, you could have just said, I work as this, and or I've been working as this for 5 years. I want to pursue this program to be able to gain skills in this or develop answers to some, be straight, because you only have like three sentences, and the first two sentences, if they are not strong enough, yeah, the visa officer may think, oh, you are just talking too much and you're not really going straight to the point. So go straight to the point. Who are you? You've been working at this for 3 years or 5 years, and you want to pursue this program because of this, or you've identified this issue and you want to gain skills in ABC to solve this. Like, be straightforward. Don't, yeah, I feel like you were saying so many things and you were just delaying the whole thing. Okay, so that's
Okay.
what is health administration?
Health administration is understanding how to run a health facility from the business angle of it.
Okay, and what is your current job again?
My current job, I work as the superintendent pharmacist and also the chief executive officer of XS Company.
So why do you need this degree?
I need this degree to be able to expand my retail pharmacy, to be able to acquire skills to understand the managerial aspect and also the leadership skills to be able to turn the business around and expand the retail pharmacy store to different store, because presently I have two retail pharmacy stores. So I want to understand supply chain management so as to expand the business into 22 into different retail store and also venture into
Hold
wholesale
on,
outlets.
hold on. You are a superintendent, right? That's what you said, right?
Yes,
So
yeah.
how exactly will this degree do? Well, what exactly will this degree do for you? Because I'm thinking you are not really talking about anything that is so different from what you're already doing. So that's why I'm just confused. Maybe you might want to consider something like, incorporation of AI into the. I don't know if AI works. I'm just thinking too much, but make it very clear exactly. There should be a clear difference between what you already have and what you are coming to, what the degree will add to what you have, right? I'm not too sure if it's, but what you are saying, some of the things you are saying, the visa interview is not that hard. So sometimes some answers like this can even work. But then for some visa officers, depend on the day and all of that. You want to be very clear exactly what a degree will do for you. You want to make it clear enough, right? So the way you're talking, are you the owner of a pharmacy?
Yes, I'm the chief executive officer,
Okay.
the director. Yes,
Who is sponsoring your studies?
I'm sponsoring my studies, and over the past 8 years, I've been working as a superintendent pharmacist, and I've saved up about excess million naira for a couple of years from the business.
You own
And I
you
also
own
have
the
other.
business, right? To be clear again, you
Yes, I
own the
own the
business.
business. Yes, I
Okay.
own the
So
business.
I'll probably say I am the owner and then the superintendent of ABC pharmacy, that kind of, so that it's like, okay, the person is the owner. Let's establish that, right? And then
Okay,
we can now
okay.
understand why you'll be able to sponsor your studies. If you want, you can even mention the revenues you made last year. Last year you made a revenue
Yeah,
of
I was
this,
coming to
and
that.
yeah, okay.
Okay, okay.
Yeah, when it's self-funding like that, it's just about you trying to talk about how much you make and all of that, and how many workers, maybe how long the business has been in operation. The business can just ask you, when did you establish the business? If you struggle, it means you're lying. So you have to be very clear about when you established it, how many workers you have, the branches where they are. You cannot think about these things because it's like your name. What is your name? You should know your name. So if you
Yeah,
can
yeah,
be very clear about these things, then the visa also will believe that, okay, you can sponsor yourself. You have to be very clear. Are you married?
yeah. I'm married with two kids, and my wife is also a co-director of the business.
Okay. Yeah, you can say the business is managed by you and your wife, and she's going to be in charge of it while you're away. I mean, it depends on how you craft it, but yeah, okay, cool. Um, so you don't have any funding, right, from the school?
No, I don't have any funding.
Okay. How did you apply to the school?
I attended an educational consult online, and I saw different schools, and I narrowed my search down to Webster University. I choose actually applied to two schools, Washington State University and Webster, but I took interest in Webster because of the dual degree I'll be getting from from the program, because I would be conferred with MBA and MHA, which is bachelor master degree in business administration and emphasis in health administration.
The question I asked you, I think you didn't hear me well. I was trying to find out how you applied to the school, not why. How did you do it? How did you
How? Okay, I say why. Okay. Yes, I googled online and I met a research institute, a educational institute online named um, Skynet, and I discussed with them, and that was how I got to find about the school.
no, you still haven't answered. So how did you, or is it that my question is not clear? I'm trying to find out how did you apply? So it's like maybe
Oh,
when you decided to apply to the school, you went to the school's websites, you created an application, you submitted your SOP, your resume, then three letters of recommendation, something like that, and then you pay the
the
application.
educational institute, the educational institute did that for me when I
Oh,
submitted all my, yeah.
okay. So maybe you can make it clear that the application process works by using maybe you can say the way the program works is it requires you to submit your document to an education institute, and then they submit the application on your behalf. I don't know the education institute, I don't know how that works, but based on how you did it, you can talk about it like that. I just want to make sure that you know what it takes to apply, and the documents you use to apply. If you did evaluation, you can talk about all of that. Okay, that's what I wanted
Okay.
to, because sometimes the visa says they want to make sure you apply to the school yourself and not somebody did it for you. Okay. So why do you want to specialize in health administration?
Yeah, as a pharmacist, I need to actually specialize in healthcare because a pharmacy is an healthcare system which serves the healthcare needs of my people, of my community. So specializing in it will also help me to acquire knowledge which I will need to actually come back to Nigeria to run the business appropriately in the business strategy itself.
Okay. I don't know if it's a strong answer or not. I'm not too sure what exactly you say. You mentioned knowledge, but knowledge in what? When you are clear that
Managerial skills.
mm, I see. Mm. Yeah, I mean, sometimes a visa interview, you don't have to. Yeah, I mean, I just think be very very clear about why you actually need the MBA with a concentration in health administration. How that is going to help your company. If you have to be much more clearer than what you are, but maybe that can. The visa interview, sometimes you go and they will not even ask you that. They can just ask you who is sponsoring your study, depending on how you answer. If they ask you how will you fund your studies, and you're like, oh, I own this company and I want to study this program to you know, get managerial skills and come and then implement ABC in the company. That can even sometimes it's just that the thing is you don't know what you'll be asked, so you have to prepare yourself as best as possible.
All right.
You have to ask yourself, is this the best that I can give, right? If that is the case, then you go ahead. If it's not, then you probably want to restructure things and make them better. But yeah, so do you have any relative in the US?
No, I don't have any relative in the US. All my families are based in Nigeria.
Okay. Have you traveled before outside Nigeria?
No, I've not had the need to travel out of Nigeria before, but I've um been touring around Nigeria with my family during vacation.
You can't tell me you've been touring around Nigeria with your family during vacations. You can't. If you tell me that, I'll think that you don't have the money to sponsor your studies in the US. If I hear that, because I'm thinking
Okay,
if you
okay,
have the money to be able to tour around Nigeria, how come you have never been out of Nigeria? I'm just because even if you are not told me you've been touring around Nigeria, I'm just thinking, how come you are a business owner, you own a pharmacy, and you've not traveled out of Nigeria before? Like, why? How? Like,
okay.
I'm just
Can I say something that simple? Can I take this question? What if I answer the question this way, which I have document to back up? This way, I've not had the reason to travel out of Nigeria before, but as at 2019, I had a business, a partnership to bring in some drugs with a business, a company, a pharmaceutical company in India in 2019, which I had the documents here to back it up, but it didn't fly because that was the period COVID-19 came up, and ever since then, I've not had a reason
no,
to tour
that
the
doesn't
country.
that doesn't sound good
Does
to
it
me because
fly?
what
Okay.
no, it doesn't because I am trying to make sure because you are sponsoring yourself, your company has to be big enough to be able to sponsor you. And I think you mentioned millions of naira. So if your company is making millions of naira, the owner of the company, I mean, at least must have traveled before. Like I'm struggling to believe that with all the money you have never traveled out of Nigeria. I'm just struggling to believe that. And the visa officer will be thinking like that too. So I don't know. I cannot really help with your finances because that is, you know how you are going to find your studies. So that is what I can say. But I wish you the best. Okay, if you have any question, please, you can go ahead and ask me. Okay.
Okay, I want to ask a question regarding I'm in a study group, and I have a friend of mine. She has a sponsor, but the sponsor person paying her deficit is based in US, and she is her sister auntie. I don't know. Would that be a red flag for her?
Well, what is her deficit?
She has a 75% scholarship.
She has what?
75% scholarship.
That's not my. I asked you what is her
The
deficit.
deficit is
You asked me, right?
about less than 10,000 or thereabout. I'm not too sure.
Yeah, it can work if the family are in the US legally. Yeah, she can be approved. Yeah, if she's very clear about her why, and in this case, she has to know why what the degree will do for her when she finished the program, what the degree will do for her. So if she can establish her ties very well, why exactly she needs a degree, yeah, then she'll be fine. So it doesn't matter. She should be fine. The good thing is she has
Okay.
good funding. So yeah, she has to be very clear about her why, and yeah, that will be fine.
My
So
second question, sorry, you mentioned about mine not being able to actually travel before, and I don't know. Could I use my family are still young? That was one of the reasons. I actually
your
had
what?
the means to travel. My kids, my wife was a how would I put it? She's this corporate worker. So one of the reasons I couldn't actually travel all this while, where I don't know if that could fly for me, using my family as a
That is something you have to. I cannot really say anything about that. Okay, that is
okay,
not. Yeah, I can't really tell you what to say about this one. Okay, you know why and all of that. So this is
okay,
more or less this is a public space and all of that, and I cannot even if it was not a public space, these are things I cannot even help with. Okay, so good luck to you. Okay,
okay. Um, thank
yeah,
you.
yeah, you're welcome. Nigest, I think you are struggling to join. I don't see you here. Nigest, if you can hear me, please try and then work on your stuff. I'm struggling to hear you. So let's go back to the chats and where was I? That's the thing when you leave and then you go back. It's very difficult to know where you were. Okay. Okay, so Kadia 2 says, I'm from a French speaking country. Should I get prepared for the visa interview in French or English? I have an intermediate level in English. So Kadia 2, if you are coming to the US to do a program, let's say MBA, then you have to do your interview in English. For there are people who are in a French speaking country because they cannot speak English. They come to the US to spend the first 1 year doing an English program to like improve their English before actually enrolling in the main program. So in that case, the person can have the interview in French. I hope this makes sense. So it depends on what you are coming to study. Okay. Neko says, Chris, we can't hear you. I hope now you can hear him. Yeah, I hope you heard him actually. So Nigest, if you are struggling with your computer, please join using your phone. Okay, download the app and then join using your phone. That's my best advice because some people they struggle to join using the computer. So please use the app. Okay. Tete says if my program is 4 years and my visa is valid for 3 years because of my passport expiring, what is the next appropriate approach? Once you are in the US, you don't have to think about the visa again. Visa is useless once you are already in the country. Visa is only used to get into another country. So if you're in the US, all you have to do is make sure your I-20 is valid. If your program is 4 years, your I-20 is going to be valid for 4 years. And if you decide to do OPT, the I-20 will even be valid beyond the 4 years and include the OPT. And that's just the way. If you decide to do another program, the I-20 can still be valid, such that you don't even need a visa. So you can actually, so long as your program, let's say your PhD program is for 8 years, for example, or let's say 4 years, and then you decide to stay in the program until the 8th year, the I-20 will still be valid for 8 years, such that you don't need a visa. A visa is only needed if you want to enter a country. So long as you don't leave the country, you are still okay, and you are still legal in the US with that I-20. Okay. All right. I hope this is clear. Okay. Tinuola says, what are the pros and cons of applying for visa almost immediately after denial? The thing is that you've been denied, and the assumption is that you didn't deserve, you didn't qualify for the visa. So what that means is that you have to wait a little bit, and even before you go again, you have to make sure there is something significant that has changed. Let's say you were waiting for a GA offer, so you went and you were denied, and then later on you got a GA offer, let's say a week later after you were denied, then you can apply immediately. You got the GA offer and go again, because right now you can easily say that something significant has changed, right? But if you just, if you are denied and then you go immediately and all of that, when you don't have funding, then there is a good chance it's because of funding. But if you have full funding, for example, and then you went and you were denied, then as soon as you can apply again, right, and then go again, because then you can try to find out why you were denied, and maybe your why wasn't clear enough, then you can establish the why, and then you go again, you'll be approved. So it depends on, why you were denied and all of that. Okay. Augusta says, how much is your private mock interview again, please? So it is $40. Okay. A says, not everyone can get funding, and is you are rubbishing loans. This is a problem when it comes to answering questions. I don't qualify to give you any advice because I don't know you. But then a lot of times I want to give you my opinion. If I were you, I am not going to go for any loan. If loan is your only option and you want to use a loan, fine. Nobody is stopping you. I cannot stop you. I don't even know where you are. I can't stop you. You can go ahead. But right now you are in my space and you're asking me a question and I'm giving my opinion on it, that it is not a good idea. And using a loan, it is not even about when you finish your program, the impact of the loan on your life and all of that, but it is more even about your get how to use a loan to get your visa approved. It is very difficult when you are using a loan, especially now. So because of all of these things, I'm giving you my opinion that going with the loan is not a good idea. It's not like I'm rubbishing anything. I'm giving you my opinion, what I think. If you don't like it, you don't even have to be here. Life is very simple. I make a video and somebody will be complaining, oh, this video is this video. Nobody asks you to watch the video. Stay away from the video. Simple things, and people don't like peace of mind. I don't know why. People are always arguing and like unnecessary things. Somebody will spend hours create a video, and then you are there, you are complaining, you are angry that the person is making the video a particular way. Like, who asked you to watch the video? Like, I don't know, simple things. And if you are complaining a lot about things that people are doing which are external to you, you will not be happy in life, right? So please don't 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 make it look like, if you cannot get funding, what makes you think you'll be able to make enough money to pay off the loan when you finish the degree? Because OPT is not guaranteed. It takes a lot. So if you have the ability to get funding, then you have the ability to get a good job as well in a way. So please don't. You are not in the US. Those of us who are in the US, we have seen it all. We have seen a lot. I have been in the US for 9 years. I have seen everything that somebody can see, because of the fact that I've also made a lot of mistakes. So I can see all of the I've seen all of this, and I can give you advice. You don't want to take, don't be here, because my page, I give my opinion. I can be wrong, of course. I accept I can be wrong. I'm not saying I don't make, like I said, I've made a lot of mistakes, so I can make mistakes. So please don't make life too hard. Okay. My TikTok phone has a low battery, so I guess I have to. How do I even charge this? Guys, give me a second, please. Let me try to work on this thing. Now, if you're an undergraduate student, I've already told you a lot about undergraduate admissions and scholarships. You have to ask yourself the kind of scholarship that you're looking for. And I can actually categorize the scholarships into three. One is a full scholarship. A full scholarship means you need to have a good SAT score. Then you can also get a full tuition scholarship, which means all your school fees are going to be covered. You only have to think about your living expenses and then your health insurance. Then we can also talk about other scholarships, which are normally less than 50% of your cost of attendance. With that, you are going to have a huge deficit in terms of part of your tuition and also part of
Yeah,
your
I
living
don't know.
expenses. Depending
Stop
on
that
whether
gate.
you have the ACT or not, I can suggest.
I don't know. How you doing now?
All right. Chris, please mute yourself. Okay, mute yourself. All right. So we are back. Um. Let's see something. Where's Where's my case? Okay. Cool. All right. So where was I? Hmm. Where was I again? Yeah, I'm lost. Hmm. Where was I? um. Yeah. Where was I? Yeah. Okay. So well. Okay. I think David says you were shy. Okay, so I guess maybe you were denied with MS accounting and now you got admission to to do MS finance. Is it advisable to change the school, especially the cost of attendance of the new school is a bit higher as compared to the earlier one? What are you doing? I'm just thinking, what are you doing? Because you were denied using accounting with a low cost of attendance, and now you have a higher cost of attendance with a new school. I'm not too sure what you are doing, David. I'm not really sure. Okay. Jelly says, "Hello, Shai. Is it advisable to reapply for tourist? I guess tourist visa after being denied this January." Well, some of these things, it's not like yes or no. I can't say yes or no. It depends. What are you coming to do? What? How did the visa interview go? Why do you think you were denied? It's not yes or no. No, it doesn't work like that. Okay. Um, Opara says during the question on finance, can I say I have savings that will cover my logistics to the US while my sister is the one sponsoring me? I mean, I don't know. It depends on the question is how much is the savings and how did you get the savings? How long have you been working? And like some of these things, it's very difficult for me to give you an answer because it's not yes or no, right? It's not straightforward like that. Joseph says, I do not know how to reach out to you for a mock interview session. So I've already explained how to reach out, how to be selected for the mock. Okay, from the beginning, you can. Christabel says, Christabel, count from the last six. Okay, she was giving me a tip. Okay, yeah, I think that actually makes sense. Yeah. Okay, so thank you. So I believe I've answered all the questions. So let me check something here. Let me cancel this. Yeah, so I've answered all the questions. I'm very sure about this. So, guys, thank you very much. Those of you I interviewed, thanks for your time, and I wish you guys the best. The two people that I couldn't interview, I don't know what happened. Okay, well, I just was trying to join, but yeah, there was an issue she couldn't. So, yeah, so thanks so much. Take care of yourselves, and I'll see you next week. Bye bye. I was supposed to stop first.